Hey guys, what is up? Array Mage here, doing another World of Tanks 360 review. Today guys, we're going to be doing the M4A3 Eight Sherman, or as it's also commonly affectionately called, the Easy 8 Sherman. Now this is a Tier 6 American medium tank, was added rather recently into the 360 version of the game, so this is pretty new to me. This is pretty new to anybody that's just been playing the 360 version like me. Before, we would have to just go through the Jumbo Sherman, and from there we would have to, consider if you want to go to the T29 or the T20, and Jumbo Sherman was not a bad tank, but let's face it, I mean, if you have played the M4 Sherman, as anybody that's gone up the American line probably has, let's face it, it is an outstanding tank. It's a great tank. Fantastic. But let's face it, you do start to see a lot of glaring issues with it, especially when you start running up on Tier 6, and in some cases, Tier 7 and higher tanks. The armor, while not bad at Tier 5 and lower, and you can kind of make it work at Tier 6, let's face it, when you run up on 88mm guns from the German VKs, when you run up on 90mm guns from tank destroyers like the Jackson and the 90mm on the M6, the armor on this tank is just questionable at best. It's, not a bad tank, and certainly, I always have exploited hull down as much as I can, and you can get lucky against those guns because of that gun mantlet. But let's face it, you have a low hit point pool, very thin armor, and the speed can only carry you so far. You basically have a paper tin can. In some ways, you're no better than a VK30. A VK30 at least has great gun selection, but you just don't feel comfortable going up against Tier 6 and higher tanks. Now the Easy 8 comes in, and it's a little bit different. Now the gun selection, let's go ahead and look at the packages. The gun selections all around for this tank and the Jumbo Sherman are exactly the same. I believe the engines might even be the same. I know the 4G8A, or AA, I mean, it was used on the Jumbo, so I really don't have to go into a whole lot of detail, guys. Bottom line, you could, when you do get this tank, same problem as the Jumbo. The only difference is at least now you have a little bit more mobility to work with, and you still have to make that choice. Do you want to go with the 105 derp gun up here, or do you go with the 76mm M1A1? Honestly, I went with the 105 at first, mostly just to get the discount, and so I had a more quicker, faster tank, and I could make the derp gun work. I knew how to handle derp guns. Obviously, I'd played the beta, so I have extensive experience in playing with them. And of course, eventually, I did upgrade back down to the 76mm M1A1, a more consistent gun. And here's where you want to get. You want to get here. You want to get to the 76mm M1A2 gun. I'm not going to pull up really much. I do think the turrets on the Sherman, both the Tier 6 Sherman variants, are a little bit different. As you can see there, your turret armor, 76.19 millimeters thick. There it is, side and rear, your traverse, and your view range. They might be a little bit different. I'm not positive on that. But overall, the best way to think of this tank is it is a slightly up-armored M4 Sherman. Now, of course, it's very much different. It is, I believe, a different chassis altogether. Has a different suspension, and, of course, more powerful engine compared to the regular M4 Sherman. This tank is incredible. Rarely have I ever gotten a warm, fuzzy feeling about a Tier 6 tank. I think the last time I had anything really positive to say about a Tier 6 tank that I absolutely enjoyed using was the VK36H. And this tank here, is really, it's making me think about not even bothering to get the VK36. Bear in mind, the VK36 is definitely, bar none, the best Tier 6 medium in the game, but this tank is very competitive, and I absolutely love how I can exploit breakthroughs, and the mobility is really just unquestionably good. I feel like I can compete in this tank. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to a gameplay. I'll catch you right back in a very quick moment. Okay guys, here we are with the gameplay. This is Mines on Standard Battle. This was a 3-kill gameplay, pretty average for me. I think I did 1500 damage. I did have one gameplay where I did 2000 damage on Wide Park, but I just didn't feel like I did well enough. It was kind of sloppy. Really, the enemy team was playing real sloppy, and they just kept coming up over the hill and just laid them out. Ended up losing in that match, but I didn't want to use it. I wanted to, but I figured this was more typical and more ideal for what you see with the Easy 8 Sherman, and it shows off what the tank is capable of. Now, you'll notice very quickly how fast this tank gets up to speed. It is incredibly fast. I don't know how it compares to a VK30 fully upgraded, but I certainly wouldn't mind testing both of them out whenever they add the training room. I would love to compare them in terms of speed, acceleration, and top-end speed. I honestly think this tank is very competitive with the VK30 in terms of speed. Now, in terms of its mobility, its ability to turn quickly, I just think it's unrivaled. You see there, great on-the-move accuracy. Didn't pin that Stug, but, you know, you can get an idea. This tank is pretty quick. So, definitely when you're thinking of equipment, you want to be thinking vertical stabilizer, possibly. I went on ahead and went binoculars, as you can tell. Now, I do pop this AT8 in the back or his side. Didn't really do anything. And you notice I'm just kind of creeping around a little bit. I'm just wanting to see where the enemy team is. Bounce the shot off this AT8. I bounced one right here. I just don't have the 76mm M1A2 gun. Not a bad gun at all. Great accuracy. Great rate of fire. But it's not good enough in terms of penetration, and you'll see here when I pop out again and take another shot at this AT8, it's just not enough in terms of accuracy. So it's a capable gun. It's not a bad gun at all. I feel like you can depend on this gun. So it's very good on this tank. I recommend it, especially because of the engine that comes with this package. This really just makes the tank unbelievably great. And as you can see here, how quickly I turned around. Now, the enemy team did not even want to try and take this hill. I have no idea what the hell happened there, but I'm automatically thinking, all right, they got to be on the other side of the map. I see them on the island by the lighthouse. I'm trying to figure out where the hell could these guys be. And you can see here, because of the great speed and mobility this tank has, I'm able to relocate very quickly. Now, as I was mentioning in terms of equipment, binoculars I think is a must. Binoculars are coated optics. Go with whatever you feel is suits you, but I went with binoculars because I hate Melanovka assault with a passion, and I felt like the binoculars were best suited for this tank, and I could take advantage of its great view range. So I went ahead and went with that. And I did go gun rammer because I wanted this tank to reload even faster. Its damage is not its main strength. Its accuracy is not its main strength, but its reload speed is. And you can see here, I put about roughly 400, maybe 500 damage into this Churchill 7 that was just silly enough to give me a side and not even pay any mind. Now, here, I was trying to see if I could go hull down on this Panzer IV. Didn't work, obviously. I do eat a shot from his gun, and I pop him for it. But this is a tank where you can take advantage of your speed, you can take advantage of your mobility and acceleration to throw an enemy tank off. See here, I'm trying to bait this guy. Didn't exactly work out. I ended up trying to side scrape with the guy, but unfortunately I couldn't get a spot on him, and I didn't really want to waste the shot, and I was kind of hoping my teammates would have moved up and got the spot for me. But this was a tight match, and I said, you know what, I'm more healthy than this Panzer IV is, and I'm sure I got a better gun than him. I'm going to go ahead and push up, and I'm going to take this shot if I can. And amazingly, he has good camouflage value. I guess he has the camouflage net, and I put 2 in him and finish him off. I should have done that from the very beginning, but whatever. Anyways, now I'm just trying to think what the hell I can do next, and I'm just trying to think where the enemy team could be. I know that Churchill is right there, and amazingly, he goes up on the hill trying to shoot at this Ram 2. I think he gets 1 or 2 shots in the poor guy, but you know, this was a just poor play on the account of this heavy tank, and I make him pay for it. Now, I think a skilled player would not have let me got away with this. Some of this was stupidity on my part. I actually missed him the first time, and I put 2 in him, and he ends up tracking me, not before I kill him, though, and it was worth it. Totally worth it. I thought it was necessary. But you can see here, it is capable, the accuracy of this gun, but not ideal. Now here I'm automatically looking for that breakthrough, and I'm thinking, alright, I can now take off and I can flank. And this tank is an excellent flanker. You always want to be looking for flanking routes in this tank. With the Jumbo, you didn't necessarily have to flank a whole lot. I mean, you did. You just sort of casually moved up a little bit at a time. With the Easy 8, you can just straight up bully people with just the speed and acceleration. You can get around and completely tighten the noose up on the enemy team and just help your team out. You can exploit so much in this tank. So if you were a huge fan of the M4 Sherman and you really want something that's going to be characteristic of what you can expect of the T20, you plan to go up the American line even further, American medium line even further, I would definitely recommend this tank. I certainly liked it more than I did the Jumbo Sherman. Doesn't mean the Jumbo is bad, but this tank was just so much more well-suited to my play style than the Jumbo. Very good tank. I think it's the better of the two. That's just my personal opinion, but it is excellent. It is definitely one of my favorites at Tier 6. I mean, this thing I think can be a very good rival to the VK36, simply because its armor and speed make up for the lack of gun selection, and it kind of can really compete with the VK36 in that department. Alright guys, this gameplay is coming to an end. This will probably be it in terms of the reviews. I will do kind of like a revisitation of the Pershing and maybe the M46 Patton, because I know they've changed the packages up on that, and I might redo the reviews on those tanks, but be more of a revisit, I guess. But anyways guys, this is coming to an end. I'll probably do another commentary by next week. I'm winding down on the reviews, guys. They got to put in some more tanks than what we got. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace out.